At the beginning of this month, I was laid off from my job at Meta, where I'd only been working for 3 months. This was my first job out of college, and never would I have imagined having to experience a layoff so early into my career. I initially wanted to make this video 3 weeks ago to ride the wave of the news. Right after I read that email saying I got laid off, I had this flash of inspiration that, can make for a pretty interesting video, and I recorded some scenes throughout that day. It was just going to be like a walkthrough of like that day I got laid off, kind of parodying all of those day in the life of a FANG engineer that you see all over YouTube, except, it would be my newly unemployed self wandering through New York City and looking for meaning. I had like a pretty clickbaity thumbnail in mine too. It was gonna be like Thanos snapping with like Mark Zuckerberg's face photoshopped over him. Yeah, I really don't know how well that video would have done. It was pretty much just like a compilation of like me being in a daze, wandering through the city, journaling to just like process the news and like what happened, and sighing a lot. But after, I got this footage, I was really struggling with actually making the video. And the thought of uploading it online for everyone to see low-key terrified me. I was really frustrated with myself because I knew how important it is to like push through setbacks like this. And I was still doing everything else. I was still like working out, I was still journaling, working on my other hobbies, even taking the next steps in my career. But somehow when it came to this video, I'd just be like paralyzed. After some introspection, I realized that what was weighing me down was shame and perfectionism. These are 2 feelings that I've always struggled with in life, especially being raised by 2 immigrant parents. As much as the rational side of my brain knew that this layoff had nothing to do with my skills or my self-worth, the emotional side couldn't help but feel bad. I think what I've discovered is that a lot of my self-confidence and self-worth didn't actually come from like an internal grounded sense of who I was. Rather, it came from external accomplishments like getting into a good school or, getting the good job. This layoff isn't how I wanted the story of my life to go. I felt ashamed that it happened to me, and I felt really anxious and fearful of how others would perceive me as a result. So obviously, if you're like the one person watching this, since it's literally my first video and I have 0 subscribers, that means I eventually uploaded something. What changed? I've been reading a lot of Brene Brown recently. She's kind of like become a hero. If you don't know who she is, she's a researcher, speaker, and thought leader. Some amazing things to say about leadership and vulnerability. Her TED Talk on vulnerability, I think, is like the 4th most viewed TED Talk of all time. If you don't know who she is, definitely check that out. It's some seriously transformative stuff. What I learned from Brene Brown is that when shame and perfectionism go unchecked, it can result in life paralysis. This refers to all the opportunities and chances that we miss because we're too scared to leave our comfort zone and get vulnerable. So what's the antidote to shame, and by extension, life paralysis? Shame needs 3 things to survive: secrecy, silence, and judgment. The antidote to shame is to speak it aloud to yourself and to others. One of my biggest goals is to live life to its fullest. I want to try my best and give it my all. And I don't want to be haunted by regrets of what I should have done but was too scared to try. I hope that resonates with you as well. And if we want to live and love with our whole hearts, and if we want to engage with the world from a place of worthiness, we have to talk about the things that get in the way, especially shame, fear, and our resistance to vulnerability. So what changed? I realized that my shame and perfectionism were holding me back from making this video. And these things were holding me back from trying something that could potentially lead to so much joy and fulfillment in my life. That thing being telling stories to hopefully inspire others to also live more wholehearted lives. I also know that I'm not alone. In the tech world especially, these past few weeks have been a bloodbath, and there are so many people who are going through the same storm as me. More than that, there are people in all kinds of situations where shame and perfectionism are holding them back from taking the first step towards their dreams. I wanted to make this video and share my shame to remind others that they're not alone as well, and that the only way for us to move forwards and overcome these setbacks is by connecting with each other and lighting the way for each other. There's this quote that I really like that says, "We're all just walking each other home." And I feel like that really encapsulates the kind of like meaning and purpose that I'm hoping to create with my life. Finally, I wanted to make a public declaration to hold myself accountable. I'm going to say right now that I'm going to turn this setback into the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Moments like this in life, when times are uncertain and we experience setbacks, are chances for us to prove our principles and forge our character. It's moments like these where we get the chance to really redefine ourselves. I'm gonna grow so much in this next year that when I look back in this video, I won't even recognize myself. I've already grown so much in this last month, and I'm really excited to see what my future holds. I'm gonna try to upload something every week to get better at storytelling and to document this process. I can't promise that the videos will be any good, especially in the beginning, but what I can promise is that I'll be trying my best, I'll be my authentic self, and that each video will be better than the last one. When I think about my story and experiences and like what's unique to me, I think about self-improvement with regards to mental health, emotional maturity, and productivity. And I also think about technology, especially with regards to entrepreneurship, product management, and software engineering. I'm definitely going to be experimenting around a lot, trying all kinds of videos to see what works and what doesn't, and also just to practice. If there's anything that you'd like to hear from me specifically, please let me know, and I would love to satisfy that request. If you want to join me in my journey, please subscribe. It would actually mean the world to me. And finally, is there anything that you're struggling with right now? Is there a big scary goal in your life that you're having a hard time taking the first steps towards? If so, please let me know in the comments. I would love to talk about it with you, and I mean that genuinely. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching till this point. It really means a lot. Alright, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Keep your heads up. Hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.